And a very pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Boshemer Gymnasium on the campus of Brevard College. Brevard College volleyball back in action this evening, USA South Conference play, as the Tornadoes host the Falcons of Pfeiffer on senior night. Big night here at the Boshemer Gymnasium, where 5 Brevard College seniors will be honored in a pregame ceremony and recognized for their contributions to Brevard College and Brevard College volleyball over the years. We'll be recognizing McKenna Parkins, Bailey Lance, Ashley Hoxett, Justine St. Louis, and Melanie Hoyle. Meanwhile, the Tornadoes will take on Pfeiffer on the court. So the Tornadoes looking to continue their battle in the USA South Conference standings, currently 4-6 in the USA South Conference. Pfeiffer 1-10 in the conference this season, 4-17 overall. The Tornadoes, an impressive overall record, 12-8 on the season, and a lot of that due to that senior class, players like Parkins and Lance, Hoxett. Also, the contributions of Izzy Boulay, a freshman, have been huge this season. She currently ranks 4th in the conference in service aces, and Boulay ranks 5th in the conference in assist. Also, we mentioned Boulay, the freshman. That freshman class altogether, Emma Fontana, players like Caroline Moon, who had a big breakout performance last week, Casey Wampler, all big contributions. And it all adds up to the Tornadoes with an intriguing season here in 2024, looking to get the W here on the home court on senior night. Well, stick with us. We'll have the senior night presentation coming up shortly. And then Pfeiffer versus Brevard volleyball at the Bosch. In North Carolina, number 6, McKenna Parkins. McKenna is being escorted by her parents, Randall and Leslie, and her brother, Rylan. She'll graduate from BC in the spring with a bachelor's degree in exercise science and in health science, with minors in psychology and coaching. Following graduation, she plans to attend postgraduate school where she plans to obtain both her master's and doctorate in occupational therapy, specializing in pediatric special needs. Off the court, she's a member of the Brevard College women's basketball team, an RA, a peer leader, secretary of the exec board of SGA, a member of FCA, CAB, and Omicron Delta Kappa Honor Society, president of the Tri Delta Honor Society, made Dean's List all 5 years, selected to the CSC Academic All-District team twice, and earned USA South Academic All-Conference honors. 97 kills and 505 digs over her 5-year playing career at Brevard, with 116 total blocks. And her favorite BC memory, beating Greensboro in 5 sets and also defeating first-place Southern Virginia this season. How about a big round of applause? Senior McKenna Parkins. Next, a senior from Mills River, North Carolina, number 11, Bailey Lance. Bailey is being escorted by her parents, Heather and Jordan. Bailey will graduate this December with a bachelor's degree in childhood education. Following graduation, she plans to become a first-grade teacher, selected to the CSC Academic All-District team and an All-USA South Academic All-Conference honoree. On the court, she's accumulated a school record 1,672 career digs, along with 268 assists and a school record 194 service aces. Her favorite BC memory, defeating Greensboro in 5 sets. How about a big round of applause? Senior Bailey Lance. Next up, a senior outside hitter from Balsam Grove, North Carolina, number 12, Ashley Hoxett. Ashley's being escorted by her parents, Brian and Sonia, and her sister, Emily. She'll graduate from BC this spring with a bachelor's degree in exercise science and minors in coaching in business and organizational leadership. Following graduation, she plans to attend graduate school to obtain a master's in strength and conditioning or athletic leadership and pursue a coaching career as a strength and conditioning coach. Off the court, she served as volleyball's representative for SAC and also was a member of the BC cheerleading team. A member of FCA, academically, she qualified for the Dean's List the last 2 semesters. 888 career kills, 766 career digs, 129 career service aces, 50 total blocks, and her favorite memory, beating Greensboro in 5 sets and also defeating first-place Southern Virginia. How about a big round of applause? Senior Ashley Hoxett. Next up, a senior right-side hitter for Port Orange, Florida, number 14, Justine St. Louis. Justine is being escorted by her mother, Kathleen, and her Mimi, Peggy. Justine will graduate from BC in the spring with a bachelor's degree in psychology and a minor in exercise science. Following graduation, she plans to attend graduate school for sports psychology. Off the court, she's SGA senior representative, a Psych-Chi representative for SGA, and is a member of the Morgan's Message Club. Academically, she's part of the BC Honors Program and has been a member of BC Volleyball for 2 seasons. Her favorite BC memory, meeting friends that are like family and spending every weekend with them going on hikes and watching sunsets on the Blue Ridge Parkway. How about a big round of applause? Senior Justine St. Louis. Our 5th senior is a senior middle blocker from Silva, North Carolina, number 23, Melanie Hoyle. Melanie is being escorted by her parents, Jason and Elizabeth, and her siblings, Cameron and Samantha, and brother-in-law, David. Melanie will graduate from BC in the spring with a bachelor's degree in business and organizational leadership and a minor in coaching. Following graduation, she plans to seek her master's of business administration in graduate school. Off the court, she served as an RA and is a member of FCA. She's qualified for the Dean's List and the Honor Roll several times and has been a member of the BC women's basketball team also here at Brevard. Over the course of her BC playing career, 45 career matches, 128 career sets played, 177 kills, 49 total blocks, and her favorite BC memory, competing against Warren Wilson in basketball her freshman year in a game where she got to play against her sister. How about a big round of applause, senior Melanie Hoyle. And that's your 2024-25 senior class: McKenna Parkins, Bailey Lance, Ashley Hoxett, Justine St. Louis, and Melanie Hoyle. How about one more big round of applause? Congratulations. Welcome back once again to the Boshemer Gymnasium. Moments away from getting things started between the Tornadoes and the Falcons. Starting lineups for the visiting Falcons: Kylie Mayberry, Gabriella Gamma, Gabby Edwards, Jada Thomas, Madison Hartman, Hayden McGrath, and Madison Tate. Tornadoes: Emma Fontana, Izzy Boulay, McKenna Parkins, Ashley Hoxett, Justin St. Louis, and Melanie Hoyle. In the libero, Bailey Lance. And worth noting, all 5 seniors in that starting lineup: Hoyle, St. Louis, Hoxett, Lance, and Parkins here on senior night. So looking forward to getting things going. Great senior night presentation earlier. And now the Tornadoes ready to get to business. Tornadoes in their blue uniforms with the white numerals, white lettering, black bottoms. Pfeiffer in the black tops, black bottoms with the white numerals and the yellow trim. Tornadoes will serve first. Izzy Boulay will do the honors. We mentioned Izzy in the open amongst the leaders in the USA South Conference. In service aces and also assists. Service ace, such a big part of the Tornadoes game. And we're just about underway here. Boulay will serve. Pfeiffer will be on the receiving end. The libero in the pink shirt for Pfeiffer is Gabby Edwards. First chance for Pfeiffer, handled by Boulay. Lance, Parkins sends it over. Dug up there by Lewis. Attack from Tate. Here's Parkins. A compelling rally early on here between these two squads. St. Louis keeps it alive. Hoyle sends it over. Now an opportunity for the Falcons. Lance keeps it alive. Great rally here on the first point of the match. Point Tornadoes. McKenna Parkins, the senior, getting it done with the finish there. First point goes to the Nados. Meanwhile, here's Pfeiffer off the Boulay serve. Attack here from Pfeiffer off the hands of a Tornado defender. Point Falcons. Point Falcons. So first service opportunity for the Falcons, all tied up here at 1. It's Gabriella Gamma, sophomore from Matthews, North Carolina, Union Academy High School. Lance, Boulay, attack there from Hoyle. It sails just long. Point Falcons. Gamma will continue her service. Big crowd here on hand for senior night and the Nados versus the Falcons. Lance setting up St. Louis. Stopped at the net momentarily there by Tate of the Falcons. Here's St. Louis again. And that's going to sail long. Point Falcons. So 3 straight points for the Falcons, a 3-1 lead, and Gamma will continue her service. Lance, Boulay, setting up Parkins. Here comes Pfeiffer the other way. Lance, what a dig. Another attack from the Falcons. St. Louis is just going to send it over, and now an opportunity for the Falcons. Set up nicely there by Mayberry. Point Falcons. So 4 consecutive points for the Falcons. And Gamma will continue her service. It's been a successful one. 3 winning points for the Falcons while Gamma's been serving. A 4-point run overall. Here's Boulay. Parkins. And blocked at the net. Well done. Madison Tate, Abigail Lewis was there as well. So, point Falcons. So the Falcons flexing their muscle at the net as well on the defensive end with the block. Boulay. Parkins. Boulay now setting up Parkins again, and Parkins using the finesse.
Point, Tornadoes.
Beautifully done by McKenna Parkins, the 5-year senior. And Caroline Moon will check in. Her first opportunity in this match. She had a big match last time we were here at the Bosch in a win over NC Wesleyan. Kind of a breakout performance. Exciting freshman from Woodstock, Georgia. Moon sends it over. And Melanie Hoyle there for the block. Very nicely done on the defensive end by Hoyle. Another opportunity. Hoyle slams it forward. Dug up by Pfeiffer. Moon with the dig. Boulay goes the other direction.
Point, Tornadoes.
Casey Wampler with the kill. Wampler checked in as well, the freshman out of Blountville, Tennessee. Good serve by Moon, putting Pfeiffer on their toes, but then they're able to finish it off.
Point, Falcons.
Really nicely done, Falcons. Madison Tate will handle the serve. Out of Lexington, North Carolina, the junior. Wampler with the attack.
Point, Falcons.
Big hit there from Abigail Lewis, junior out of Roxborough, North Carolina. A 7-3 lead for the Falcons. Boulay setting up Wampler. Nice idea there going cross court, but it's wide.
Point, Falcons.
Hoyle on the attack and the finish.
Point, Tornadoes.
So Tornadoes with the winner there. 8-4 your score. And service here for Bailey Lance, one of those 5 seniors honored. All-time leader here at Brevard College in service aces. Sets up Wampler in the finish.
Point, Tornadoes.
Casey Wampler getting it done. 8-5 your score. Just getting started here. Set number 1 at the Bosch.
Point, Tornadoes.
So a violation there on Pfeiffer. Point's going to go to the NATOs. NATOs 11 and check that 12-8 on the season. 4-6 in USA South Conference play.
Tornadoes, ace.
Ace there by Bailey Lance. We already mentioned the all-time leader here at Brevard College in service aces. That was her 195th service ace of her career.
Point, Falcons.
Service error is going to give it back to the Falcons, and Hayden McGrath checks in. She'll handle the serve. Actually, it'll be Carmen Ryan with the service, sophomore from Mount Pleasant, North Carolina. Here's Wampler. Nice dig there by Edwards. Boulay, Lance, Wampler once again. And the Falcons were there on the block.
Point, Falcons.
Summer Matthews, Jada Thomas tag teaming for that block. And the Falcons ahead 10-7.
Point, Tornadoes.
So winner there for the NATOs. And checking in, Kylie Catcher. Bit of a serving specialist for the NATOs. We see her in this spot. A sophomore from Peyton, Colorado. Moon keeps it alive. Catcher. Here's Wampler. Edwards. Sending it over is Ryan.
Point, Tornadoes.
Nicely done there, Izzy Boulay. Nifty move from the setter, Izzy Boulay. Another rally between these two squads developing. Here's Lance. Boulay. Moon. Big hit from Moon. Dug up nicely by Gabriella Gamma. Then going cross court there is Wampler. Outstanding rally between these two teams.
Point, Tornadoes.
That attack went wide. Lance dove at it. Did not get a hand on it. And actually a blessing in disguise because it ended up going out of bounds. Serve from Catcher.
Point, Tornadoes.
So Catcher with the service. Boulay setting up Wampler. The Falcons are going to come away with that point.
Point, Falcons.
11-11 your score. USA South Conference matchup between the Pfeiffer Falcons and the Brevard Tornadoes. Moon. Now the Falcons with an opportunity. Wampler keeps it alive. Dug up nicely by Moon. Yeah, the Falcons will earn the point on that rally.
Point, Falcons.
Falcons on top, 12-11. Boulay setting up Wampler. Edwards once again showing her stuff in that libero position, and then the finish by the Falcons.
Point, Falcons.
Gabriella Gamma with the finish. She's been a factor early on. Emma Fontana with a statement for the NATOs.
Point, Tornadoes.
So Wampler with the service after that winner from Fontana. Moon checks out. In an ace.
Tornadoes, ace.
So an ace by Casey Wampler, the second of the match for the NATO's offense. All tied up at 13. Here's Parkins. Just wide on that far sideline.
Point, Falcons.
Another substitute for the Tornadoes. Senior Ashley Hoxett checks in. Wampler gets a breather. Service here is going to be the libero. Can't miss her in that pink jersey. Gabby Edwards out of Catawba, North Carolina. Boulay, Lance, Parkins. Let's say Pfeiffer's done a nice job handling these attacks from the NATOs, keeping these rallies alive. Now the Tornadoes have to just keep it alive. And the finish there, point Falcons.
Point Falcons.
Madison Tate, big time finish there. The 6'1" middle hitter out of Lexington, North Carolina. Boulay. Lance, nicely done. Lance then keeping it alive even further. And that's going to go the NATO's way.
Point Tornadoes.
Great stuff from the NATOs. Melanie Hoyle checks back in, one of the 5 seniors honored this evening. Meanwhile, service from Emma Fontana, freshman from Simpsonville, South Carolina, in the upstate of the state of South Carolina. Boulay, Parkins, finish.
Point Tornadoes.
McKenna Parkins, big time finish. And the Fontana service will continue. Parkins, 3rd kill of the evening. And then on the block, Parkins and Hoyle there.
Point Tornadoes.
Parkins and Hoyle, 2 seniors. Awesome friendship between those two. Those 2 student athletes play both volleyball and basketball, and certainly have spent a lot of time on this Bosmer Gymnasium floor.
Point Tornadoes. Timeout on the court.
So a timeout on the court with your score. Tornadoes 17, Falcons 15. So back to action here, coming out of the timeout. Tornadoes 17, Falcons 15. Serve from Fontana. Hoxit. Boulay setting up Parkins. Beautifully done there by the NATOs. Parkins with the finish.
Point Tornadoes.
18-15, NATOs on top. Glad you're able to join us for this one. NATOs and Falcons, USA South Conference volleyball action.
Point Falcons.
So Falcons able to wrestle the serve back. It'll be Kylie Mayberry, senior from Harmony, North Carolina. On that back line for the Tornadoes, catcher, Hoxit, And Lance ready to return this serve. Lance is going to handle matters. Here's Boulay setting up Parkins.
Point Falcons.
Might have been some net interference there from Parkins, and thus the point for the Falcons.
Point Tornadoes.
So Tornadoes pull ahead, set 19-17. Boulay with the serve. Justine St. Louis, part of that senior class, checking in out of Port Orange, Florida. Parkins. And that point's going to go the NATO's way.
Point Tornadoes.
(2017). Brevard has hit that 20-point threshold first in this first set.
Point Tornadoes.
21-17. Izzy Boulay wears the uniform number 5, the freshman setter from Noonan, Georgia. What a huge contribution she's already made here in this freshman season.
Point Falcons.
Falcons trying to stay within striking distance here, down 21-18. Slamming the door shut there was Madison Tate.
Point Falcons.
21-19. BC with the lead. Lance. Lance now sends it over. Here's McGrath. Boulay going backside to Justine St. Louis. Dug up there nicely by the libero, Gabby Edwards, keeping that one alive for Pfeiffer. Now the attack from Hoyle. Lance now sets up Parkins. The Pfeiffer defense continues to keep these rallies alive. And then the finish, the block from Madison Tate.
Point Falcons. Timeout on the court.
So a timeout on the court and becoming a compelling finish to this first set. Brevard 21, Pfeiffer 20. Welcome back to the Boshemer Gymnasium. Tornadoes and Falcons, USA South Conference volleyball action. Glad you're able to join us for this one, wherever you may be tuning in from. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit that little bell so you receive all the notifications when the Tornadoes go live. So a tight one here, late first set. Tornadoes 21, Falcons 20. And slight delay, making sure everything's in order, the officiating crew. And point there is going to go to the Nados on the service error.
Point Tornadoes.
22-20, Tornadoes on top. Caroline Moon checks back in. Moon with the service.
Point Falcons.
Abigail Lewis, big time finish there. The libero checks out Edwards. Jada Thomas checks in. 22-21. Nados on top. Lance. Boulay sets up St. Louis. Count it.
Point Tornadoes.
23-21. Great to see these contributions from seniors. Justine St. Louis, Melanie Hoyle, Ashley Hoxett, Bailey Lance, and McKenna Parkins. Service here from Lance.
Point Tornadoes. Set point Tornadoes. Timeout on the court.
So a timeout with a set point situation for the Nados. 24-21, Tornadoes doing a nice job winning these points in a critical juncture. Well, another busy week of Brevard College athletics around the campus of Brevard College, located in Brevard, North Carolina, here in the mountains of western North Carolina. Beautiful time of year with the leaves changing. Just ideal temperatures as of late as well. And all sorts of opportunities for you to check out an event here at Brevard College. Tomorrow at 4 p.m., the women's soccer team, the undefeated Brevard College women's soccer team, looks to continue their winning ways as they will go to work tomorrow at 4 p.m., a special start time for that one, versus a USA South opponent, William Peace. And then Saturday, the women's soccer team will take on Southern Virginia. That match might very well be for first place in the USA South Conference. Serve from Lance. This is set point for the Nados.
Point Tornadoes. And the Tornadoes win set number 1, 25-21. Set number 2 coming up next.
So Tornadoes get it done there. 25-21 in the first set. We'll switch sides, head to set number 2 here on senior night at the Bosch. So we head to set number 2 here at the Boschmer Gymnasium. Brevard wins the first set 25-21. Best of 5. Attack there from Parkins.
Point, Tornadoes.
And the Tornadoes with the finish. Caroline Moon will handle the service. And that's going to go the NATO's way.
Point, Tornadoes. Point, Tornadoes.
So Tornadoes early lead here, 3-0. Set number 2. Already up 1-0 in sets. Make it 4 straight.
Point, Tornadoes.
The serve from Moon. Jump serve. McGrath on the attack. Here's Moon. And slamming the door shut there, Casey Wampler.
Point, Tornadoes.
Big time finish there from Wampler. We've been talking about all season, this freshman class, something special here at Brevard College.
Point, Tornadoes.
And what a start for the NATOs here. 6-0 in this second set. And what a serve there from Moon. Had some real spin on it. Not just power, but spin. Boulay setting up Wampler. Another point for the NATOs.
Point, Tornadoes.
7-0 start to this second set. And a timeout on the court.
Timeout on the court.
Back here at the Bosch, Moon with the serve. Tornadoes, 7-0 run to start this second set. Gabriella Gamma with the service. Falcons finally able to stop that scoring run by the NATOs. Hot start here in this second set.
Point, Falcons.
NATO 7, Falcons 2. McGrath credited with that last winner. Here's Boulay. Big hit there, but just missing Casey Wampler.
Point Falcons. Point Falcons.
Tornadoes 7, Falcons 4. 4 straight points by the Falcons after the 7-0 run to start the set by the Nados. Moon, big hit there, dug up by Mayberry. Here's Wampler. That one counts.
Point Tornadoes.
Bailey Lance will head into that service position. (8-4), Nados doubling up the Falcons, but a service error there is going to go the Falcons' way.
Point Falcons.
Nicely done there by the Falcons at the net.
Point Falcons.
Jada Thomas, sophomore from Charlotte, transferred to Pfeiffer from Montreat College.
Point Tornadoes.
As Kylie Catcher checks in, the sophomore out of the state of Colorado. The Rocky Mountains to the Blue Ridge Mountains. Just missing there was Catcher.
Point Falcons.
9-7 your score, so a 7-2 run after the 7-0 run by the Nados. So Pfeiffer has made this a 2-point difference here in this second set. On the move here, Boulay, beautifully done. Edwards keeping it alive. She's been doing that all match. Then the finish from Emma Fontana.
Point Tornadoes.
10-7 Nados. Wampler with the serve. Parkins checks in for Moon. It's Wampler, Catcher, Lance, Parkins, Boulay, and Fontana on the court for the Nados. Summer Matthews for Pfeiffer, and that's going to be one too many touches for the Nados.
Point Falcons.
So service here for Molly Wright, freshman from Harrisburg, North Carolina, Hickory Ridge High School. (10-7) your score.
Point Falcons.
So 10-8 now the score as Falcons back-to-back points. Tornadoes under the direction of head coach Abby Party in her third season, assisted by Eric Freed.
Point Falcons.
The athletic trainer is Jacob Tudgy. Parkins on the move. Count it.
Point Tornadoes.
McKenna Parkins. What a career she's had. The fifth-year senior out of Marion, North Carolina, McDowell High School. Not done yet. Fifth-year senior, both volleyball and women's basketball. By the way, we'll see both the men's and women's basketball teams tonight, or tomorrow night, rather, right here at the Bosch.
Point, Tornadoes.
Tornado tip-off, the Midnight Madness style event that really gets the excitement going for the 2024-25 men's and women's basketball programs. All sorts of exciting activities, skills competitions, three-point shootouts, dunk contest. We'll have it all for you. Hope you can join us here at the Bosch tomorrow night, 9 p.m. for Tornado tip-off. Meanwhile, here's Pfeiffer on the move. Boulay is going to set up Hoyle. Fontana to Ketcher. Fontana then sends it over. Nice hustle there by Ketcher and Fontana.
Point, Tornadoes.
So 13-10 your score. Tornadoes bench starting to make some noise. The spirit of the Nados. And that ended up working out for Jada Thomas. Not sure if that was intended, but it ended up being a real off-speed pitch for the Nados to try to handle.
Point, Falcons.
Well, best of luck to the Brevard College football team. They have a big USA South Conference matchup on the road as an ace there for Pfeiffer.
Point, Falcons.
Ace from Gabby Edwards, the libero. So the Tornadoes football team heading to Huntington in Montgomery, Alabama. 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Central on Saturday. That's a long trip for the Nados to make. They'll hit the road on Friday morning. Then the Futures football program will be in action on Sunday versus Lewisburg. Hope you can join us for that one. Another compelling rally here. Here's Parkins.
Point, Tornadoes.
Pfeiffer was able to get a hand on it on the block, but it ricocheted out of bounds. Pfeiffer wanted an explanation on that last call. Meanwhile, Boulay with the service. Falcons trailing the Tornadoes 14-12 here in the second set. Tornadoes won the first set 25-21.
Point, Falcons.
So Pfeiffer, who trailed 7-0 in this set, has worked their way back to a 14-13 margin. Boulay. Parkins. Beautifully done. The touch.
Point, Tornadoes.
And Caroline Moon will go back to work on the service end for the Nados. Felt like the Nados needed that last point. Really some momentum starting to go Pfeiffer's way. Hoyle there, big time block. Melanie Hoyle, ladies and gentlemen.
Point, Tornadoes.
Big time block from Melanie Hoyle. Wampler with the attack. Pfeiffer defends it well, and then the attack out of bounds for the Falcons. Point Nados.
Point Tornadoes.
17-13, so suddenly some separation once again for the NATOs. Wampler. Little too much mustard on that one.
Point Falcons.
NATO 17, Falcons 14, set number 2. Falcons slam the door shut there. Make it 17-15.
Point Falcons.
Lance, Boulay. Boulay once again, this time setting up Moon. Lance with the dig. Boulay now sets up Moon again.
Point Falcons.
And Falcons, just as the NATOs are starting to get some separation, coming back here, 3 straight points, and 17-16 your score.
Point Falcons.
Well, the Falcons have made it all the way back to a tie score here. Dug their way out of a 7-0 deficit to start this set. Have hung around and now have strung together a run of their own to make it 17-all. Boulay has other ideas, though. Beautifully done by the setter.
Point Tornadoes.
So the serve now from Lance. Hat tip to Abigail Lewis. Handled that Lance serve, then had the winner with the kill.
Point Falcons.
Lewis, the junior out of Roxborough, North Carolina. Meanwhile, serve here from Madison Tate. Boulay. Emma Fontana, folks.
Point Tornadoes.
Kylie Catcher checks back in. Love to see the Tornadoes going to run here.
Point Tornadoes.
Emma Fontana with the block. So Tornadoes getting it done defensively with the blocks. We've seen them from Hoyle and Fontana, Parkins as well.
Point Tornadoes.
And a point there for the Tornadoes, a violation on Pfeiffer. Catcher and the NATOs. 21-18.
Point Tornadoes.
Nice restraint there by the Tornadoes, not touching that ball that went long, and a timeout on the court.
Timeout on the court.
Back here at the Boshemer Gymnasium, 22-18, a timeout by Pfeiffer to try to stop the bleeding. As get a look at that Boshemer Gymnasium floor. Chick Martin Court. The cursive signature of Chick Martin, forever a part of the Boshemer Gymnasium. 22-18, make it 23-18.
Point Tornadoes.
And the serve from catcher. Boulay setting up Wampler. Big hit there, dug out by Mayberry.
Point Tornadoes. Set point Tornadoes.
So set point opportunity for Brevard. Winners of the first set, 25-21. A nice cushion for Brevard here, 24-18, but a service error there is going to give it back to the Falcons.
Point Falcons remain set point Brevard.
Carmen Ryan with the serve. Lance, Boulay, Fontana. Falcons point as that sailed long.
Point Falcons remain set point Brevard.
So another set point opportunity for Brevard. The third thus far. Lance, Boulay, Fontana. Count it.
And the Tornadoes win the second set, 25-20, lead 2-0.
So Tornadoes 25-20. And we'll switch sides. Nados will look to sweep it in 3. Back here at the Boshemer Gymnasium. Solid 2-0 lead for the Nados. Looking to close this out in 3 sets. On a exciting night at the Bosch and on the campus of Brevard College. Senior night for the Brevard College volleyball team. Fantastic ceremony before this evening's matchup, honoring the 5 seniors. Hey, shout out to Vinny Carone, named today interim head baseball coach at Brevard College. As Coach Carone taking over from Mike Victory. What a run Mike Victory had with the NATOs. 5 seasons, unprecedented success in the NCAA era. Coach Victory is going to head up to Maryland to be the head coach of Head College. So congrats to Coach Victory and congrats to Coach Carone. Best of luck to Brevard College baseball heading into the 25 season. So news cycle never ends here at Brevard College. Fall sports coming down the stretch, and winter sports starting to get moving quick too here. Tornado tip-off start of the basketball season from the excitement perspective is tomorrow. BC women's soccer, 7 straight wins, undefeated on the season. And Izzy Boulay with the serve was named Rookie of the Week this week for the 2nd time this year. Boulay with the dig. Lance setting up St. Louis. Big hit from St. Louis.
Point, Tornadoes.
So the Tornadoes strike first here in this second set. Boulay with the serve.
Point, Falcons.
Falcons able to wrestle the point back. Tate with the finish. Gabriella Gamma with the serve for the Falcons.
Point, Falcons.
So back-to-back points for the Falcons. Tornadoes heading towards the home stretch, kind of the final third of the season. USA South Conference play. Boulay setting up Parkins. Just missing. But it's going to go the NATO's way.
Point, Tornadoes.
And Caroline Moon, the freshman, will check back in. So next up for Brevard, a trip to Raleigh, North Carolina to take on Meredith College. That's Saturday at 12 noon. And big hit there and a finish there for the Falcons. Abigail Lewis.
Point, Falcons.
Following that, the Tornadoes will return to the Bosch Tuesday, October the 29th to take on Greensboro at 6 p.m. Saturday, November 2nd, it's a USA South Conference tri-match in Fayetteville, North Carolina, where Tornadoes will take on host Methodist and also Mary Baldwin.
Point, Falcons.
As another point there for the Falcons, now 4-2. Tornadoes will then play at Pfeiffer on Tuesday, November the 5th. And then the USA South Conference schedule will conclude for the NATOs with 2 matches against William Peace, both in Raleigh, North Carolina, on November the 8th and November the 9th.
Point, Tornadoes.
Well, Tornadoes able to survive that flurry of points from Pfeiffer. Have the service back with Bailey Lance. Great to see former Brevard College head women's volleyball coach Anna Grant in the building.
Point, Tornadoes.
If you're marking your calendars, if you're planning Tuesday, November 12th, first round of the USA South Conference Tournament. Tornadoes certainly plan to be there. But a lot of work to do for not just the NATOs, all these USA South Conference teams that are in contention. Justine St. Louis, a big hit there, just missing.
Point Falcons.
Falcons trying to send this to a fourth set. Tornadoes would love nothing more than to wrap it up in 3. It's a sort of sport that you give the opponent some life. You never know what could happen once you get to a fourth set and then potentially a fifth set.
Point Tornadoes.
5-5, all knotted up. Kylie Catcher will check back in. The serve from Catcher. Catcher, nice job there. Digging things up, but then slamming the doors, Jada Thomas.
Point Falcons.
The Falcons playing some of their best volleyball here in this third set. Tornadoes won the first set 25-21, and then won set number 2 25-20.
Point Tornadoes.
Leading the way for the NATOs thus far has been the senior McKenna Parkins with 12 kills. Izzy Boulay, no surprise, a big day. 20 assists and 14 digs so far. Tornadoes doing everything in their power to keep it alive, and they do so. Big play there by Wampler.
Point Falcons.
And Tornadoes really did everything in their power to keep that point alive, but the Falcons able to win the point. Falcons, meanwhile, have been led by Tate with 8 kills. Also Matthews and Lewis each with 4. 8 assists for Mayberry. And 12 digs for Edwards. As Ashley Hoxett checks in. So Hoxett, Catcher, and Lance across that back line. The service will be coming here from Gabby Edwards, the libero. Catcher, Boulay. And nicely done, McKenna Parkins.
Point Tornadoes.
So that'll bring up Emma Fontana. Fontana on the day, 5 kills, 2 digs, and a block to her credit.
Point Falcons.
Falcons 8, Tornadoes 7. Catcher keeping things alive. Opportunity here for Pfeiffer. Block was there and on point.
Point Tornadoes.
The combination of those two seniors, Parkins and Hoyle, those two dual sport athletes, we'll see them on the women's basketball team as well. Under the direction of head coach Donald Hudson, affectionately known as HUD around these parts. Coach HUD. Parkins with the hit and the finish.
Point Tornadoes.
Big time blast of power there from McKenna Parkins. 9-8. NATO's on top. Boulay with the serve.
Point, Tornadoes.
So Boulay starting to get some momentum for the NATOs. And service error there. It's going to go back Pfeiffer's way.
Point, Falcons.
I do want to tell you even more about these 5 seniors. McKenna Parkins will graduate with bachelor's degrees in both exercise science and health science. And on top of that, 2 minors from Brevard College, psychology and coaching. Parkins right on cue with the hit, but the block is there for Pfeiffer.
Point, Falcons.
Bailey Lance, that's senior libero. She'll be graduating this December with a bachelor's degree in childhood education. So big congrats to Bailey and her family.
Point, Tornadoes.
Ashley Hoxett, the senior from Balsam Grove, North Carolina. She'll be graduating this spring with a bachelor's degree in exercise science, minors in coaching, and also business and organizational leadership.
Point, Falcons.
And Justine St. Louis, the senior right side hitter from Port Orange, Florida. Part of the BC Honors Program. She'll be graduating with a bachelor's degree in psychology, a minor in exercise science. Boulay. And the finish there for the NATOs.
Point, Tornadoes.
And Melanie Hoyle, senior from nearby Silva, North Carolina. She'll be graduating with a degree in business and organizational leadership and a minor in coaching. Best of luck to these 5 seniors. No, we're not done yet with this volleyball season, but following graduation, can't wait to see what these outstanding student athletes continue to excel in.
Point, Falcons.
Meanwhile, we're deadlocked at 12 here in this third set. Neither team getting much separation. Carmen Ryan with the serve, the sophomore. Here's St. Louis.
Point, Falcons.
So Falcons with the lead, 13-12. We've had 7 lead changes, 12 ties in this match so far.
Point, Falcons.
Abigail Lewis, big time hit there. Great crowd on hand this evening at the Bosch. Appreciate everybody that came out in person. Appreciate you for tuning in to this YouTube channel. As that's going to sail long.
Point, Tornadoes.
(14-13), Falcons with the edge.
Point, Falcons.
Jada Thomas, she's had a nice match. Now with 2 blocks and 2 kills. gets it done at the net, Thomas. And an ace for the Falcons.
Point Falcons. Timeout on the court.
So a timeout on the court as the Falcons, with their largest lead of the match, 16-13 here in set number 3. Back here at the Boshamer Gymnasium, Tornadoes trying to slow down the Falcons here in this third set, and the Falcons' self-inflicted wound there with the service error.
Point Tornadoes.
16-14. Casey Wampler with the service. She has one ace this evening. Lance keeping it alive. Boulay is going to set up Wampler, and that's off the mark.
Point Falcons.
(17-14) Falcons on top of the NATOs. Parkins. Parkins again. Just missing.
Point Falcons.
Gabby Edwards with the serve. Falcons trying to force a fourth set. And that's an ace for Edwards.
Point Falcons.
Now the Tornadoes are going to have to dig deep, trailing 19-14. Certainly very much still in the set, but with each point by the Falcons, that much smaller margin of error. Boulay. Here's Parkins. Well defended again. Been impressed all evening with Pfeiffer's defense. Parkins again. And Pfeiffer's able to get to that 20-point threshold.
Point Falcons.
20-14. And a timeout on the court. Abby Pardee wants to talk things over with her troops. So Brevard College with the opening point coming off that timeout. 20-15. Got to take this 1 point at a time, trailing by 15, 20. Boulay sets up Parkins. Parkins, a big hit and the finish.
Point Tornadoes.
Back-to-back points for the Nados. Fontana will continue her serve. Melanie Hoyle up front, along with Parkins. Catcher. And Boulay's just going to take care of business herself.
Point Tornadoes. Timeout on the court.
So now a timeout for Pfeiffer, who realizes this is a golden opportunity for them, hitting that 20-point threshold, but the Nados just battled back with 3 straight points. Well, hope to see you at an upcoming Brevard College event. It's that time of year where the fall sports really starting to hit full stride. Reserves men's soccer team will be at Milligan tomorrow night. 7 o'clock start in Elizabethton, Tennessee. We mentioned women's soccer. They'll be home against William Peace at Lamel Family Field, 4 o'clock on Thursday. And then another big Saturday for the Tornadoes. Volleyball at Meredith. Men's soccer at Mary Baldwin. Women's soccer hosting Southern Virginia on senior day for the women's soccer team. And then football at Huntington on Saturday. And then Futures football versus Lewisburg, 3:30 p.m. Sunday at Lamel Family Field. Tennis will be in action on Tuesday at the McCoy Tennis Complex. You want to check that out as tennis team takes on Truett McConnell. And then volleyball will be back here at the Bosch on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Back here at the Bosch, coming out of the timeout, Emma Fontana with the serve. Tornadoes 3 straight points, make it 4 straight points.
Point Tornadoes.
So a 4-0 run just when the Tornadoes needed it most. 20-18 now your score. Fontana looking to keep the momentum. Fontana digs it up. Boulay is going to set up Parkins. Falcons trying to get something going on the other end, but a block by the Nados. McKenna, Parkins. Hoyle was in the vicinity as well.
Point Tornadoes.
A 5-0 Tornado run. Opportunity here for Pfeiffer.
Point Falcons.
So the Falcons snap the scoring run for the Tornadoes, and now ahead 21-19. Kylie Mayberry will handle the service. Mayberry with a team-high 10 assists. Boulay sets up Parkins, and what a play by Parkins. Beautifully done. That's her 18th kill.
Point Tornadoes.
21-20. A huge night for McKenna Parkins. On senior night here at the Bosch. Falcons on the attack. Off the hand of the Tornado blocker.
Point Falcons.
22-20 coming down the home stretch here in set number 3. It's a tight one. Parkins now on the right side. And that's going to be point Nados, 22-21.
Point Tornadoes.
Parkins getting it done in so many ways. Parkins' career high in kills is 24. Back in 2022 versus Methodist, as key point there from the Falcons, now 23-21.
Point Falcons.
Parkins with 19 kills tonight. That's a new season high.
Point Tornadoes.
23-22. Crunch time here in the third set. Bailey Lance will handle the service. Lance, jump serve. And that's going to create a set point opportunity for the Falcons.
Point Falcons, set point Falcons.
So the Falcons 1 point away from forcing a fourth set. It'll be Carmen Ryan with the service. Wampler, Parkins, and Lance on that back row. Fontana with the attack. Boulay setting up Parkins. Pfeiffer, no choice but to just send it over. Parkins with the dig. Attack there from Wampler. Point Nados.
Point Tornadoes.
24-23.
Remains set point Falcons.
So the Falcons with another set point. See if the Tornadoes can fend it off. Kylie Ketcher with the service. And the Falcons are going to give it back to the Nados. The Nados have worked their way back, 24-24.
Point Tornadoes. Timeout on the court.
So a timeout on the court with your score 24-24, set number 3. Tornadoes trying to finish this off in 3. Back here at the Bosch, 24-24, set number 3. The serve from Ketcher. Ketcher. Boulay. Here's Wampler. Big time hit. Match point for the Nados.
Point Tornadoes. Match point Tornadoes.
So a match point opportunity. The Tornadoes have come back from a 24-20 deficit. 5 straight points. Pfeiffer with an opportunity. Lance is going to have to send this over. Match point for the Nados. Lance somehow, some way kept that alive. What a dig on senior night. And then the match point goes the Nados' way on the winning block. Nados win. So Brevard wins on senior night, 25-21, 25-20, 26-24. What a night on senior night. And the senior class, McKenna Parkins, Bailey Lance, Ashley Hoxett, Justine St. Louis, and Melanie Hoyle, big-time performances all the way around. McKenna Parkins, a season-high 19 kills, 31 assists for Boulay. Wampler with 9 kills, 2 aces from Bailey Lance, who also had 20 digs. And just a glorious night for the NATOs, who improved to 13-8 overall and 5-6 in the USA South Conference. We'll hope to see you tomorrow for women's soccer, 4 o'clock at Eyes Lamel Family Field. And the Tornadoes volleyball team, they'll be back in action here at the Bosch on Tuesday of next week after a trip to Meredith this weekend. Thank you very much for tuning in for this edition of Brevard College Volleyball. Big congratulations to those seniors, and looking forward to this season continuing to unfold for the NATOs. Well, hey, big thanks to all the people who helped behind the scenes. Alex Spangler and Sports Information Director Joseph Marvin handling the statistics. Producing and spotting for tonight's matchup, Sharif Pennington, Justin Espino, and Brennan Wansley. Olivia Tyner on the camera. Great job as well. KJ Henderson making sure the stats get where they need to be, when they need to be. And big thanks also to the Brevard College softball team. A lot of help behind the scenes operationally from them as well. Well, thank you for tuning in for this broadcast. Your final score for the final time, Tornadoes 3, Falcons 0. Until next time, go Tornadoes.